Welcome to the Kind of Nerdy Girls podcast. Fandom, fun, funny.
Kind of Nerdy Girls podcast.
Hey, it's KJ. Thanks so much for listening. This episode, you have a lot to look forward to. I'm excited for you to get to know the fellow members of my new show, Paranormal X Road, Kitsie Duncan and Tiffany Rice, a little bit better. If you've been listening to the Kind of Nerdy Girls for a while, you know that Kitsie is totally nerdy, and we get into what Tiffany is nerdy about. We have a wonderful conversation about the Golden Girls, Cruella. The trailer had just dropped when we were talking, and then also DC, Wonder Woman, and a lot of talk about, paranormal things. So if you're into that, this is going to be a fun ride. If you haven't checked out Paranormal X Road yet, I would love for you to do so. Go to paranormalxroad.com. And here we go, of course, kicking things off so you can get to know us a little bit better with a fun fact. Okay, so we always start off with a fun fact about ourselves, and I don't know if you've ever listened to the show, but I make weird sound effects.
It's my favorite.
Introduce the show. We started low budget, and we continue to be low budget.
Hey, at least you're not low rent.
That's right. So our fun fact will be where you were born, and what was the last thing you had in a crock pot?
Oh, shit.
And we don't fact check, so make it up. I'm not going to ask you for photographic evidence of the last thing that was in your pot.
I know. I'm like, shit, I don't even know.
All right, here we go. Welcome to the Kind of Nerdy Girls podcast. We've got a wonderful show planned for you today, full of the paranormal and fun. Let's meet our cast. From Oddity Files and Paranormal X Roads, it's Kitsie Duncan.
Hey, I've got a fun fact. I was born in Harvey, Illinois, which is the south side of Chicago pretty much. So I'm tough as nails, people. And the last thing I cooked in my crock pot was white chicken chili.
You didn't invite us. Pow, 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 pow. And joining the Kind of Nerdy Girls for the first time ever, but definitely not the last. She is wonderful. She is a medium, and she is absolutely not taking any more selfies the rest of the show. It is Tiffany Rice. Woo!
Okay, so some fun facts about me. I was born in Dorchester, Massachusetts. Good old Dot. And I had, buffalo chicken dip in a crock pot recently. And it was delicious. You can have it with crackers or with Tostitos. So the thrill is up to you, really.
I just love all the ranch that goes into that dip. Okay.
We're all drooling.
Focus. My name is KJ. I was born in Dubuque, Iowa, although I'm from Wisconsin. Dubuque, Iowa is like 5 minutes away from Wisconsin, so I'm not an Iowan. I think that's what I don't even know how to say what you are when you're from Iowa.
You're not a Hawkeye.
I'm not. Thank you very much. And the last thing that I had in my crock pot was creamy lemon pepper chicken.
So hungry now.
I'm so hungry now.
So, fun fact,
Yes.
I honeymooned in Dubuque, Iowa.
You did not.
I swear. So we started out in Galena, Illinois.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is, literally you are talking about the place I grew up. It's like where Wisconsin meets Iowa meets Illinois, the tri-state area. Yes.
Yep. So it was my first stay at a bed and breakfast, and I'm like, I hate this. I have to share a bathroom. So we found a hotel in Dubuque, and my husband learned how to gamble and spent a lot of money because he's like, but it's not real money. It's just little tokens.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
What was it?
Added
It had
fun
to have been. Were you on the casino boat? Were you on the Diamond Joe casino?
Probably. It's been a long time. Just a casino is all I know.
Yeah. Well, if it was a casino, it was the Diamond Joe, and chances are one of my cousins or aunts was working the cash box.
I love it.
That's so funny. I can't believe I maybe you've told me that, but I had cocktails, but I don't think that you've ever told me that.
Oh, well,
And what-
there you go.
Ooh, can I ask what the year was?
1995.
Oh my gosh. I was on the radio on K Live 105, Tri-State's hottest hits in 1995.
We may have listened to you. Holy shit. Look at this going full circle.
Crazy. Okay, we're going to get to some nerdy stuff today. If you're a regular listener, Katie is off gaming and Jonna is selling love sacks, so they will be with us for the next episode. This show, I'm very excited because, as you know, it's always fun when Kitsie joins us, and she has now brought along a friend who now, do I get to also call you my friend, Tiffany?
Absolutely.
Together? All right.
I love when this happens.
Yay!
Yay!
New kind of nerdy girl, Tiffany Rice. We've been sort of connected through Kitsie for a while on Instagram and such, but we had some crazy happenings that went on in our house here with a light that started going on and off. So I, of course, called Kitsie to come and help. And then Kitsie called in Tiffany as reinforcements because my mom just was not interested in talking through the spirit box. She actually, the only thing she'd say to us is medium. So then we got a medium. We got the best. We got Tiffany. So Kitsie, can you real quickly just kind of set up what Paranormal Crossroads is and how everyone can find it?
So it's something that just kind of came together organically. It's a new way of paranormal investigating for me. I'm known mostly for investigating notoriously haunted locations like Penhurst Asylum, Waverly Hills, Bobby Mackey's. But I recently wrote a book called I'd Rather Talk to Dead People. And in writing that book, I kind of realized that I have a knack to get these spirits to talk to me. And I'm not a spirit medium like Tiffany. I'm working on that. I'm working on trusting my own intuitions. She's been amazing with that. But I get them to actually speak to me to where others can hear them as well. And I wanted to give back to those spirits that have taught me so much over the years. And while I'm not a people person and would rather talk to dead people, I'd like to help people along the way as well who are scared when I feel they really don't have any need to be scared. It's just the spirits reaching out to them to communicate.
And Tiffany, you are a spirit medium. Could you share a little bit with the kind of nerdy network here about how you came about knowing like, okay, I'm going to trust what's going on here, and I'm a medium?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I've always had a sense of knowing. It wasn't until a little bit later on when I really started to develop my gift. I ended up attending a workshop, and a friend of mine really kind of put me in front of people where I just started giving them readings. And I didn't realize I was giving them readings. I was just telling them the first things that were coming to my mind. And so that was really what kind of started it. I mean, I can go back and forth talking about when I was younger and having these images as I was talking to people. I'd have these images cross my path. And I'd think, all right, Tiff, you got to stay focused. Like, I don't know why I'm seeing this guy that doesn't exist behind my friend over here. And it would be her grandfather, like things of that nature. And then I ended up becoming a Reiki master teacher, which Reiki is Japanese. It means energy life force. And that really connected me even more to energy. And that was something that I found so fascinating. And then same year, 2008, I was really introduced to the paranormal. And if you guys are watching and listening now, Kitsie, you know all about the paranormal, but it's all about, you know, kind of finding out what goes bump in the middle of the night. So I ended up becoming part of a paranormal group back in the day, and we traveled all over. We went to Waverly Hills Sanitarium, Eastern State Penitentiary, of course, Lizzie Borden, which is right half hour away from me. And I started just being the medium, going into these buildings and just being able to put that emotional side and attaching it with the factual side to give people some peace and some comfort and letting them know that, you know, I always say we are never truly alone. And so kind of going more from the paranormal side, people started to hear about me more. So then they wanted their own personal private reading. So it wasn't just going to locations, but it was actually bringing your personal loved ones to you, offering that validation and those messages of just having that comfort and letting them know, whether it's through signs. I talk about signs all the time. I know sometimes you guys might not know, but cardinals, butterflies, dragonflies, hawks are big. I'm sure you guys have heard the terms pennies from heaven. Those are certain signs that you can get from your loved ones in spirit, just to let you know that they're right here with you. And at that point, I was doing so many between investigations and so many private readings here and there. I decided I needed to leave my job and go full time with this. And that's what I did. So I've been full time doing my medium work since 2013.
Wow.
So yeah, I absolutely love it. I love being able to be that connection between here and there. And more importantly, to provide that comfort and healing and letting you know that they're right here with us. Because there's so many different facets of grief that we don't realize. Our emotions just totally just roll. You go through the anger, you go through the sadness, you go through the guilt, and we don't get over grief. It just becomes a part of us, but it's how we learn to handle it. And if I'm able to just help you get from one breath to the next, knowing that you are just so loved, then that's what I'm here to do.
Are you able to shut it off? Like, do you get to just be Tiffany sometimes?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's so funny because I get a lot of people that are highly sensitive like myself, and they'll email me and they'll say, I just hear them all the time. And I say to them, I go, well, why don't you tell them that you'll talk to them later?
It makes no sense.
And I'm like, there you go. Like, think about it this way. If a person physically was standing in front of you, poking you on the shoulder, KJ, and saying, hey, can you talk to me? Hey, can you talk to me? You'd be like, listen, I got to go eat some meatballs. I'll be back. When I'm done with my lunch, I'm going to talk to you. So it's so important, just like you do here in the physical world, to set up boundaries. So that's something that I do. It's like a light switch for me now, because I do them so often, and I'm so used to feeling energy. What is my own energy and what is energy that's trying to communicate with me? So when I'm ready to give messages and listen, that's when I'm on. And when I'm ready to just be Tiff, which is my priority, that's when I shut it down and I go hang out with my friends and my dogs and, live a regular life.
Ooh, you have to tell us about your dogs. We're big animal lovers here.
I love animals. So if you guys haven't seen my Instagram or Facebook, I'm always posting about my dogs. I have 3 dogs, Olive May, Chloe Marie, and Stanley Beans. And yes, KJ, you'd be happy to know that Stanley is named after Stan Lee. And spelled the same way.
Oh my gosh. And before the show, Tiffany's like, I don't know what I'm nerdy about. You named your dog after Stan Lee.
Yes. I had an opportunity to meet Stanley only once. And, after that, I ended up getting Stanley and I named him Stanley, spelled that way, just as a ode to Stanley. So yes, there are 2 Frenchies and a Yorkie mix, but I do a ton with rescue. I do a lot with the Aruban because I love Aruba. If you haven't been, you need to go. And they just need, just like everywhere. And I know you're going to say, well, why wouldn't you help the animals here? I would. Give me a connection. I'll help any animal I possibly can. And the reason why I'm helping the Aruban ones is because I've actually gone out and done a rescue mission specifically for all of the Aruban shelters on the island. And I formed a bond with them. And so now I do a lot of work with them over here in the States, just to kind of get that word out. And so since then, we've been able to get about 20 dogs adopted just from posts and sharing. And
that's fantastic.
I mean, they've adopted a lot more, but through what I've done. So I will continue to help and get the word out. And like I said, if I had more connections with people here in the States, let me know. I'll do whatever it is. I just think it goes hand in hand.
You spend more time with me, Tiffany. And
yes, yeah. Just tell me what you need.
You're gonna have all the connections. I do think it's interesting that question comes up. I mean, I guess I do understand some of it, but also at the end of the day, whatever animals you're helping animals and furthering the cause.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
That's so important.
One thing that you might have been thinking of this. I might have been tuning into what you were thinking already. But, with spirit, people may not know this, but animals come through too. And I think that's amazing. There's so many times animals will come through and people will think, well, I didn't know that they could come through. And I've had horses come through. I've had cats, dogs, guinea pigs, you name it, birds. Yeah, they do come through. So, and sometimes it ends up being more emotional because, animals have that unconditional love.
Yes.
I've done a reading before where I was bringing somebody's father through, and then I said, oh my gosh, he shows me a golden retriever. And all of a sudden the tears started just flowing for the person I was reading. I'm like, I was just bringing your dad through. And she goes, I know, but my golden retriever was my baby. We're all connected. We're all connected, whether it's our furry friends or whether it's our loved ones. We're all connected, and we all want to, hold on. I always say love is infinite. So wherever we are, whether we're here in this physical world or in another dimension, we're still connected.
Well, and I think that I'm most sensitive to that. And that I'm a cat lady at heart. I've got 6 cats here, but we've had I've had cats my entire life. My first word was kitty, not mom.
Oh my God.
Dad.
I didn't know that.
And my mom wrote it in my baby book and never forgave me for it. Like, you picked cats over me from the beginning.
Yeah, you're like, I just felt connected.
Yes. And so, that's always been not even something that I thought about, like, oh, I'm sensitive to that. It just was it's just been a part of us. And it's very common we have a Siamese cat that crossed over, and he used to love to climb the Christmas tree.
Oh my God.
He comes to us every Christmas and he sits on top of the Christmas tree. Like, you cannot stop me now. I will sit atop of the tree. And we know, and it's like some of our cats will like feel like next to us or, walk across the room. And he is always up in the air. And it's very common for me or my husband to shout out, like, Omar, can you stop running around the ceiling? Because like the other cats it's very clear that they're getting fired up, and we're trying to like wind down.
Yeah.
Omar's doing laps on the ceiling, and the cats can see him. So they're like, maybe we should be running around up there. And it's like, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think, and I think as we talk more, and I talk to more people, like people start to realize I do sense something, or it's just like, if it's a part of you, it doesn't seem weird to you. You think everybody knows it. And so I just assumed everybody's cats keep hanging out with them after they cross over because mine do.
Well, and it's funny that you bring that up because we're all intuitive to a certain degree. So we all have that intuition. So we all can pick up on that spirit energy. Just some of us are tuned in a little bit differently. So for you, it's something that has been like the back of your hand, second nature. Whereas for other people, they may have to work at it a little bit more.
Well, we are going to be working at this with a lot more people. I hope we've got more paranormal crossroads to come, and you can see our first episode and soon second episode on Oddity Files Crew, the YouTube channel. So I want to get into some of the kind of nerdy stuff. And Tiffany, we have to go right back to you having a dog named Stan Lee. So clearly you have some affinity for Marvel, right?
Yes, but you know what though? I do love Wonder Woman. Who doesn't love that? So
Right.
I'm not opposed to DC either. So
well, tell us about some of are you watching WandaVision?
No.
That's okay. All right. So have you seen the Avengers?
Some, yeah.
Okay,
some.
that's fine. That's fine. Do you have a favorite? Okay, I'm not even going to make you think. I'm going to narrow it down. Iron Man or Captain America? You can only keep one.
Iron Man.
Yes.
Ouch.
Hashtag Team Kitsie.
Chris Evans is my heart. You can't see him right now, but he's right there. And
he's also a Massachusetts native.
He is. Yeah. That's
Fun fact.
Yes.
Fun fact.
Do you ever run into him by chance?
No, actually, I don't at all.
If you do, don't bring me up because I'm pretty sure he thinks that I stalk him. So it's not going to get me any points to know me. I do the other girls on the show, well, especially Jana. She thinks she's going to marry him someday. But Chris Evans is a topic of great discussion on the show.
I love it.
So the
I
point
love
that
it.
my signature segment is the Chris Evans update. So I Google him often because it's my job to report
Just in case we wanted to know. Just in case we wanted to know.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go Hawkeye or Black Widow. You can only keep one.
Black Widow.
Same.
Correct answer. Even though I really like Hawkeye. I'm in a group. We do on Saturday nights, we do the Marvel Cinematic Review. And right now it's all WandaVision. So it would be very confusing for you, Tiffany. I don't encourage you.
my brain would explode. Can I tell you though, whenever I wear this little jacket, I always feel like I'm like a super.
Yeah.
It's just because of this leather. I feel like I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
Fight some crime, people.
Yeah, let's
and
go fight some
find
crime.
some ghosts.
Yeah. Or, kick some ass like Jessica Jones. That's done.
Right?
There you
This
go.
this little Target wonder that's been you guys can't see the bottom because of course I'm wearing leggings that do not match this jacket at all. But
I had a board meeting before this, so I'm in like my appropriate black sweater for a board meeting with my cat skiing pajama pants on.
yeah. Seriously.
I don't ever want to have to wear real pants again.
This is the life we live now. And I'm
Yes,
not
really
complaining
is.
about this part. I mean, I've got
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I have those too. I'm gonna just say Spanx.
Oh,
There's-
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got the Spanx and the fuzzy slippers. It doesn't get
love
much
it.
better than that.
I mean, we're going to have to make an agreement that when we do go back out in the world, we are not going back to regular clothes.
Please no.
No. But I will tell you too, as part of my superhero getup, I did just order the patent leather Spanx
Oh,
as well.
Nice.
You know, the shiny black ones?
oh yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
those.
So
I have
have you been to any cons and done any cosplay, Tiffany?
No. I've been to Comic-Cons. I used to be a guest at Comic-Cons
Well,
when
you,
Comic-Cons were a thing.
you need
That's
to,
how I met Tiff.
know.
I met both of you through conventions.
Oh my God.
Yes. So I was a guest as a spirit medium and I would do gallery readings at conventions, but I never have done cosplay. I don't know if I could pull it off.
Oh my gosh.
Please.
You totally can. And that's the great thing about cosplay. You can be anybody and it's fun because you pull it off in a way like you start to feel like you're another person. I mean, that's like the fun of cosplay.
Well, that should be an episode in itself. We should dress up in our favorite cosplay getup.
And I'd go.
We'll do a contest. We'll do some sort of contest and get everybody involved.
I would
I
love
love it.
that. That's one of the things people are missing so much about the cons is it's not quite as fun to just, dress up and walk around your house in the cosplay.
Right. I know.
You don't know what I do when I'm not on Zoom. Come on, don't you judge me.
Right? The whole point is to be seen when you're wearing cosplay, you know?
Exactly. Tiffany, the first convention that was ever held here in Indianapolis, we were so excited because it was like, oh my gosh, we're getting a Comic-Con. It's never happened before. This is going to be amazing. And I had to just like really, really convince my husband to dress up because I wanted to be Amy Pond from Doctor Who and my sister wanted to be Clara and her little boy was going to be a TARDIS and we needed Patches to be the Doctor, right? Like it wasn't complete without the Doctor. And that was so not his thing at the time. He's gotten a little more, I can get him to dress up in costume a little bit more now. But at the time it was like, no, I'm never doing this.
Right.
So we convinced him, like, please be the Doctor so we can do this. And we all got dressed up and we drove downtown in our Doctor Who cosplay. And that Comic-Con was so packed that they were not allowing anyone else in because of fire code. And so we got all dressed up in cosplay. And then we were like, you know what? Screw it. We'll go to the Doctor Who store because there's this really cool place here in Indy called Who North America. It's the biggest Doctor Who warehouse in North America. We're like,
Wow.
well, we'll just go there dressed up in our Doctor Who stuff. No one's stopping us. And we got there and everybody had the same idea and you couldn't get in there either. So we just went to Chili's dressed up as Doctor
There you
Who.
go. They have the best chips and salsa.
The saddest thing, but I was like, we'll never forget our first cosplay.
I love it.
We got all dressed up and went to Chili's. And you know what? There were lots of other people in Chili's that were also like defeated and just like, well, I guess we're dressed up and eating at Chili's. So
You had your own cosplay contest at Chili's. I love it.
Right. Absolutely love it. Fun fact, the first Comic-Con that I traveled for by plane was in Indiana.
No way.
Really?
Awesome Con.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. I was at Awesome Con.
Yeah. Because I was doing all the Comic-Cons that were local to Boston, like Rhode Island and all different ones, Rhode Island, Boston, all that stuff. But the first one that I got on a plane for was Awesome Con in Indiana.
Wow.
I think the first one I met Tiffany at was actually the same location I met KJ at, which was Chicago Comic-Con.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Was it the same one?
Was Burt Reynolds there when you were there, KJ?
Yes.
It was the same freaking con. Get out.
The first one that I traveled to was Indiana. And then the first one that you met, the both of us, was Wizard World, Chicago.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
insane. I'm covered in goosebumps right now. Kind of makes me have
Yes.
to pee.
Right? I need to get you guys up here in Boston.
Yes,
Yes,
well, that was
please.
where we were supposed to go right before things shut down.
Yeah, we got to make it crazy. Go to Dunkin' Donuts, you know?
I love it.
Actually, Tiffany and I were supposed to do our first big event before that Ace Comic-Con Boston. We were going to go to the house where Lizbeth Borden had her happily ever after all the drama of the trial and everything. And Tiffany was going to do a reading and I was going to lead an investigation. So at some point, it'll be all three of us out on the East Coast.
Yes.
Doing what we do.
Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
So Tiff, before we forget, anybody who's listening that is interested in a reading with you, first and foremost, give us your website because that's the best place to contact you for a reading, right?
Oh, I would love it. Yes. So guys, go to tiffanyrice.com. That's the best way to reach me. If you have questions about who I am, what I do, there's an about section. So you get to learn a little bit about me. You get to see what I offer. Right now I'm doing telephone readings. There's obviously going to be more added on to that. I have my own jewelry line with Dune Jewelry. That's coming
amazing.
out. I already have one piece that's out, but there's other pieces that are in production right now. So I cannot wait to share that with you guys. But definitely tiffanyrice.com is the best way. If you're on Instagram, if you could follow me at Spirit Tiff, I would love that. And Spirit Medium Tiffany on Facebook. And of course, Spirit Tiff on Twitter too. I always forget about Twitter. But
Oh my
Spirit
God.
Tiff.
You know, it's kind of a cesspool of negativity most days, so it's understandable.
You know
That's
what?
why I love Instagram, because I like to just look at the pictures.
Same.
The
Call
thing
me-
I like about Twitter is that when you are when you're in the zone and you have a lot of word vomit you need to get out, they welcome it on Twitter. Like I get on Twitter
yeah.
and I
True,
tweet like
true.
28 times and then I'm not back for 3 days. And it's fine. But yeah, I agree. I prefer to be in the more positive places, which Instagram stories, it's, you see so many, everybody's just happy in Instagram stories. But the other thing, you know what, Tiffany, I would love for you to join, don't feel like you have to, but I would love for you to join our Kind of Nerdy Network Facebook group. I'm going to brag a little bit, but I'm really proud of the fact that we're like 1,200 strong now. And I was nervous.
That's awesome.
I was
I'm going to
so
find it right now
Go
on my
find
little
it.
phone.
It is the nicest group of nerds on the planet. I swear. I was so nervous about doing this and I made the group private because I was like, I don't want it to be a place where people start fighting and calling each other names and I have to take posts down. And so I created it and I kind of, set it up in the beginning and said, I really want this to be a safe place where no matter what you nerd out about, someone in here, is going to support you and we can just be a really great community. And that I crossed my fingers and hoped for the best. And like I said, it's 1,200 people strong. I don't moderate anything. And I get to go in there and see all these like wonderful nerds forming friendships and talking to each other. And if somebody posts like, hey, I'm super into this role-playing game, anybody else here into it, and they don't get any responses, people are really quick to be like, hey, you know what? I've never heard of that game, but tell us more about it. Like, it's so nice.
Fun.
I just joined, so now my application is waiting approval.
Oh my gosh, I bet.
So I guess I'll just have to wait and see if I get approved.
You'll probably be approved before I even get to it because my husband is so good. Yep, but you're already approved. I saw that you requested
on it.
and I went
Here we go. Okay.
You're in. Welcome to the Kind of Nerdy Network. Yay!
Thanks.
So some of the things we're talking about in the Kind of Nerdy Network today, and if you don't have any interest in it, it's okay. But they did announce, so Disney Plus is going to, this is like their announcement to HBOMax that we are full on in the game. They announced that they are bringing Golden Girls exclusively to Disney Plus.
Okay, so Golden Girls is my ultimate favorite. Kitsie, I know you're on it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've already got the Disney. I'm telling you what, all these other streaming networks are bringing all this TV that we all loved and that we've watched over the years. I've already dropped cable, but I've got Friends on HBO Max. You had Golden Girls on Discovery Plus, and that's Disney Plus.
Yep.
And I've got all my ghost shows and all the ID network shows on Discovery Plus. I am down.
Yeah. So this is the one thing Disney hadn't done yet, which was to start bringing in some of these classic TV series. And I mean, Golden Girls. I was so excited. I'm like, Golden Girls is going to be on Disney Plus. I can watch it whenever I want. It's amazing.
I love it.
So that is, did they give us a date when it's going to be there? I always hate.
I fall asleep to Golden Girls every night.
Do you really?
I really do. Yeah.
Who's your favorite Golden Girl? You could all, if you could only.
Dorothy.
Oh, nice.
Blanche.
Boy, I am not surprised. You are such a Blanche. And I'm a Rose, so this works out.
Look
Now.
at that.
I love them all, but I just like Dorothy and how direct she is.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
I had that
I
love
appreciate that.
of Rose and her small town upbringing. There was so
Well, she grew up in Minnesota, right?
yes.
Yeah.
And you're Wisconsin. So at one point when we're all investigating together, can I wear a Blanche shirt and you wear a Rose shirt and you wear a Dorothy shirt?
Yes.
I would love that.
Totally.
Please and thank you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then who's the other one? Patches has to be the other one.
Oh, Sophia.
Sophia. Patches is Sophia. He's so Sophia. He actually is kind
Picture
of a Sophia.
it. 1948, Sicily, Italy.
I wish we could get into the Golden Girls house and do a little investigation.
Ooh.
Oh my, I just got covered in goosebumps.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Is that
Mom,
something?
can we take Betty on an investigation? Are you kidding me?
Man, can you imagine? Oh, think of the
She's
spirits
my
that
hero.
would line up to talk to Betty, man. Whew.
Right?
I mean, we're all going to line up to talk to Betty. We're going to be like, get out of here, spirits. This is
That
our
would be
time with Betty.
amazing. That would be amazing.
Oh my gosh, that would
So
be
there's
cool.
something Tiffany is kind of nerdy about. It is the Golden Girls.
Nice.
It is. I do. I have like memorabilia. I have wine glasses. I
Wait a
have.
second. What memorabilia do
Well,
you
no,
have?
I don't.
Okay.
They have their own pops.
They do. They've got the
Yeah,
fun.
well, I have them.
You
I have
do?
the mini pops and the regular pops. Yes.
Oh
And I
my
have wine glasses. Yes.
I
Oh
love
my
it.
gosh, that's so funny because like when I was looking for news, there was other nerdy things I could talk about. I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to lead with Golden Girls, even if it
I love
falls
it.
flat. I'm going to.
Well, hey, Golden Girls are my jam. I love it. I love
That
that.
is That is fantastic. And then have you guys seen, it's okay if you haven't because it just came out and it's more my job to keep on top of this, but have you seen the Cruella trailer that came out?
Now you're talking my jam.
I
I
know.
don't think I have. Wait, did they do the commercial on the Super Bowl?
Just dropped today.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
Just today, our like first big look at Emma Stone as Cruella, and wow.
Well, where do I find this? I'm going to watch it.
It's all over Twitter. People have shared it. I'm sure
It'll
Disney
be in
has
the it'll be in the Kind of Nerdy network for you.
Cool.
And
Oh my gosh. So I totally got that confused with Clarice.
Oh.
Oh,
Which
Clarice.
has nothing to
So
do with Cruella. Nothing
Yes.
at all.
So Cruella, so they're doing an origin story of Cruella DeVille. And Disney is still, when they put this out today, they were like, this hits theaters. I want to say it's like Memorial Day weekend. And they're like, it's in theaters. They have not.
I couldn't find where it was going to debut. So thank you. I was curious about that.
Yeah. So right now they are sticking with this is going to be a theatrical release. Who knows if in May that's going to change. But they also, I mean, they haven't budged on Black Widow either. I mean, they're still like, that's a theater release. And if there aren't theaters, then you're probably getting bad news about Black Widow being delayed again. But yeah, I was nervous when they announced this just because, I mean, Glenn Close, I mean, how do you follow up being Cruella DeVille after Glenn
But I love
Close
Emma
did it?
Stone so very much. And she is
has range.
fierce.
She's, oh my gosh, Tiffany, I just went to the Kind of Nerdy Network and the first story already posted, producer Jonna posted the Cruella trailer. So it's right there when you go to the Kind of Nerdy.
Oh, good.
Yes. Yes.
I'll check it out after we do this. Yeah, because I was like, wait a minute, I'm totally missing out on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I would, like I said, I was nervous about, anyone other than Glenn Close. And I saw the trailer and I'm like, yep, Emma Stone, you're doing it again. Fantastic. Yeah. So those are the like two big nerdy things that people are talking about today. I don't have anything big. We're still working our way through Titans. Have you started on Titans, Kitsie, on HBOMax?
Yes, I had just finished it when you told me about Doom Patrol.
Oh, that's
which
right.
I loved a little bit more than Titans. I'm not going to lie. Titans was well done, but Doom Patrol freaking Brendan Fraser is amazing. And I kept meaning to find my awkward prom photo with him and post it and talk about what a wonderful job he did on the show. But he's such a huge part of it too.
Tiffany, do you know anything about these shows that we're talking about? Titans or Doom Patrol?
No,
Okay.
I just started watching Bridgerton and I couldn't get into it.
I haven't watched it yet, but I, you know what? Honestly, Tiffany, part of the reason I haven't started it is because people keep saying it's so great, and I'm afraid I'm not going to like it.
Okay,
I'm three episodes in, so I don't know if I need more time, but I'm 3 episodes in and I can't get into it.
No, I don't think so. I called it my basic bitch binge because I mean, every woman is watching this right now and I enjoyed it. I really did. I don't know if it was hormonal or what it was, but all the beautiful people were in it. And I do love a good period piece. And especially when it happens in the UK, that's my jam. So
But
still working my way through The Crown.
Do you think if Tiffany is 3 episodes in and she's not feeling it, that she should go any further?
No. Absolutely not. Either you're in it or you're not. So
okay, all right.
So Tiffany,
but what about Surviving Death? I think both of you just watching that.
I'm not done with it yet. I watched another episode yesterday.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm not done with it yet either, but I think I'm 6 in, right?
You're probably right about where I am.
They just got done with the mediums. They had the mediums.
Which I thought was really well done, but I'm really upset they didn't contact you, Tiff. I'm not going to lie. When I was done watching
I'm going to tell you something. That was why I watched it, because I had everybody and their mother reach out to me and say, why weren't you called? Why aren't you in this? You need to be in this.
Yeah.
And I never got the call.
Thoughts on ectoplasm, people?
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
Or is it not?
Do you have any experience or knowledge of ectoplasm, Tiffany?
You know what? No. Have I been on an investigation where I felt cobwebs? I guess that would be like, even though it's so different, but like, that spiritual cobweb feeling when you're in a location. Yes, I felt that, but
it didn't manifest.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel like it's a bunch of bullshit, to be perfectly honest. And when she started talking about how much it hurt to produce and that it came out of all orifices, including her no square, I was like, she's just looking for ratings right now.
Yeah.
And her talking in Timmy's voice,
No.
Okay, I'm so glad we're talking about this, because I was like, am I supposed to be buying into this? Because
I couldn't. It was hard. And you know what? Like, I'm going to tell you guys, because I know that there was a guy on there that was being like, he's like, you need to convince me. One thing that I'm going to tell people that want a reading, I'm not here to convince you. I'm just here to tell you what I'm being told. Right. It's not, I'm not going to be proving myself to you. It's like, do you go to your accountant and say, hey, you better prove to me that you're an accountant? No, you don't. It's
like, if this accountant doesn't get the right code word that I told my dead father, then I'm going to leave. Are you kidding me?
Right. And that goes in with the amount of like, when I give messages, I always say it's the information that you need, not necessarily the information that you want. Right. Mm-hmm. So when because people have said that, like, oh, I believe everything you say, but you didn't get my nickname. And I'm like, they don't care about your nickname. How about that? Mm-hmm. They care that you actually keep your house. So you have to do really well with your finances because you just took out 2 mortgages on something else. So you need to make sure
the important shit.
Money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry that I didn't get that your name was Monkey. Okay. But
but you look like one.
However,
so
Tiffany, it didn't make it in the episode, but when you were talking to me, one of the things that I was like, I can't even believe, like my mother and grandmother are sitting right there, was that you brought up Shirley Temple. And that was what my grandmother called me when she was like, you look just like a little Shirley Temple. And I was like, nobody knows that, right? Like that was
right.
I can't imagine that like occasionally you throw out Shirley Temple and you get a response from that. Like that.
Right, exactly. Well, that's the thing. It's like I have thrown it out, like but you never know. And I don't know. You have to, one thing to expect for a reading, like go in with it with an open mind.
Yes.
So if you already bring that type of energy, like, okay, so you're going to choose to work with someone that is super sensitive to energy, and you're going to stand like this. And
completely closed off.
Yeah, like closed off energy, and you want this amazing reading. Like, that's cool. Like, why don't you just chill out and listen to what they have to tell you?
And the thing is, they're paying for this. So for
Christ's
sake, be open, be responsive to the spirit medium. I know when Tiff did my first reading, I was just like, she'd come out with something. I'm like, oh my God, that means this. And then she'd come back with something else. And I was like, oh, always bring a tissue if you're getting a reading from Tiffany.
For
1,000,000%.
But also, like, I always encourage people to be interactive with me because it helps the flow of the energy.
Yes.
Oh, you get those people who are skeptical and they got their arms crossed and they're not going to give you anything. Like, that's no help.
Yeah,
it's not fun for anybody.
Why are you here?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I have to tell you, I thought about, so much. There was a lot to process after we talked, but I did think, like, it's got to take a lot of confidence when you're hearing weird things like Shirley Temple, and you have to throw it out there, like, like that.
You have to take the ego out. Right. So you have to realize that all this information that you're hearing or seeing in your mind's eye has nothing to do with you. So like if I'm giving you a reading and I see Shirley Temple, I can't think, oh, well, I love Shirley Temples. Like I love Shirley Temples. No, who cares if I like them or not? Just say Shirley Temple because that's what they want you to tell. That's what they want me to say. And then it's up to you to piece it together.
So then what would you tell? Well, you haven't seen it all the way through, but Kitsie, is it frustrating when something comes out like surviving death, or is it helpful when we're sitting here discussing whether or not we believe it's even real?
Well, I will say that, you know what, it sparks an interest.
Yes.
So people are clicking on it. because they're curious. And so if it's going to spark some interest, of course, people are going to be opinionated. But, there's so many different types of people out there, so many different mediums, so many different, again, you're thinking like the regular world, right? There are great mechanics and there's not so great mechanics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people that talk like Timmy.
Right?
When I watched it, it validated what the three of us are doing with this Paranormal Crossroad, because I was so moved by it, but we're already trying to do that by going into these people's homes. And as it turns out, I'm not getting the original landowner coming through on my spirit box. Neither is Tiffany getting them talking to her, but it's these family members that are coming through trying to communicate with people. So it validated to me that the world needs a little bit more less scary paranormal out there.
Yes. Absolutely.
Agreed?
Yep. We are all in
That was
agreement.
totally selfish and me going, hey, are we doing the right thing here? But that's how
I just think when you are genuinely trying to put something good in the world, how can that not be the right thing? And I know you so well, and I know that is what you are always trying to do. And Tiffany too. Like I just think, yes, that you don't even need to be validated, but if you're putting good in the world, it's the right thing to do.
Okay. Well,
Exactly.
I've had one job where I stand in a box made of cloth and yell at people for the past 10 years. So this is a little different where I listen to people. So cut all this out.
But I do want to say, Kitsie, if we end up going back to that at any time, you make it sound like what you were doing. Don't diminish it. Celeb photo ops, and part of the reason that Patrick and I wanted to work with you and be a part of it is because it was providing an amazing experience that most people would never be able to have.
Right. No, I get
part of that. So never think that, what you were doing, maybe it's different from what you're doing now, but you were still giving people moments that were changing their life.
Yeah.
You're going to see that in the next episode,
literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
It all
and
ties in.
I'm not sure when this is going to drop, but you guys be prepared for this next episode, because while during Tiffany's reading with the homeowners, a lot of it didn't register because Tiffany she just says what she sees, and she's so free with this information. And I watched them and I was like, I don't know if they're not, if none of this is sinking in, but like as soon as Tiff was, I don't know if they just didn't want to interrupt her, but everything Tiffany said during that reading at this family's home, like I had pictures sent to me that night via my Facebook by all of the family members going, oh, this is what she was talking about. And that was, she's so amazing, people. It's just, and I get that your first spirit medium experience is a lot to take in. It really is. But you guys, I cannot say this enough, that Tiffany is the real deal. The real deal. Tiffany Rice.
Thank you.
Woo!
I'll pay you guys later for that one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just keep hanging out with me. That's all I ask.
Exactly. Now I do want to go back, Tiffany, to circle back to we were talking about some DC shows, because you had mentioned that you really like Wonder Woman, and the shows that Kitsie and I were talking about, I could tell, like, that was why I was like, are you following us at all here, Tiffany? Because I could kind of tell you're like, nope. So Titans and Doom Patrol are DC shows. They were on the DC app, and then HBOMax was like, we're buying all this content too and putting it on HBOMax. And I'm so glad they did, because at the time I was like, I'm not paying for a DC app. I just wasn't.
There's so many apps out there now. Yeah.
Right. But I think that Titans is one that you might enjoy because this visits some of the characters that spun off from some of the characters we know. So you have,
okay.
you have Dick Grayson, who has broken off from Batman and is trying to be his own person now. And you
AKA
have
Robin.
Robin, yes. And so you have Wonder Girl, who has this connection to Wonder Woman and some of the similar powers. And she has experienced being the superhero, and now she's trying to just be Donna Troy, right? And you have Aqualad. And so you kind of learn about these emerging heroes, but you're learning about them as they're adults and kind of helping a new group of kids discover their power. It's dark. It's like immediately you're like, holy shit, is that really Robin doing that right there? That's not the Robin I remember. But I think that you would enjoy it, especially if you have that DC tie and, Justice League and Wonder Woman in any way. I think that it's a cool take on the show. And then Doom Patrol is just the most messed up.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy for DC.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So I did watch Guardians of the Galaxy. I've seen that.
It's definitely way darker, but you're laughing at things that are dark. It's it's that kind of show. Alan Tudyk is narrating it, and he's just so fantastic. And Brendan Fraser is incredible, and Matt Bomer is in it. Timothy Dalton is in it. Like
Who's the girl? I love her.
God.
Both of them actually.
Yes.
Anybody who can play 7 different personalities in my book.
Oh my gosh.
As an actress.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
And she's literally like going in and out of them like it's nothing. It's really cool. So Kitsie, you're further along in Doom Patrol now because I stopped watching it because I knew that Patrick would like it. And then we started.
Oh, I finished it.
So now we're almost caught up on Titans, and then we'll go back to Doom Patrol. So, but those are a couple of recommendations since you're going to stop watching Bridgerton, Tiffany.
Right? I know. I gave it a shot. And it was so funny because as I was watching it, of course, I was scrolling through Instagram, and one of my friends on a story just said, unpopular opinion, I don't like Bridgerton. And I got right to her and I'm like, I don't think I like it either. I can't follow it. Well,
it's so uncomfortable when you start watching a show that everybody's told you is so good, and you are like, "Is there something wrong with me?" Like
what is it that I'm just not? I still have to check out Peaky Blinders.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't either.
Schitt's Creek is my favorite.
Oh,
so great!
It just puts me in a happy place every time. Like I've seen all of them, but. Like I'll rewatch them over and over because it just puts.
Yes.
I love Dan Levy and Eugene Levy. Like they're awesome.
Catherine O'Hara is my idol.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Can't even.
And I don't know if you've watched any of the cast interviews, but Annie Murphy gets like super emotional when she talks about the show. And it's just so cute.
It's like after I watch it, I find myself doing this a lot.
Oh,
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a little bit Alexis too.
La 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 la.
A little bit Alexis.
We're doing a rewatch of that right now, of Schitt's Creek right now. That's funny that you bring it up because it was like I think that we're just having a little bit of a mental health struggle about approaching this 1 year mark with this pandemic. Right. Everybody kind of has their like foggy moment of when last year started. And it was like, I'm supposed to get some groceries and stay home for a couple of weeks. None of us knew where this was going to go. And so just been struggling a little bit. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go to Schitt's Creek.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Let's just go. Let's just go.
Let's just disappear into Schitt's Creek. It's just a happier place.
Yeah.
Makes us forget everything.
They've got their own struggles, but they overcame them. And I'm not going to lie. I've been through it a couple times. And that last episode, every time, and I'm not a crier. When Catherine O'Hara is, spoiler, anybody who hasn't finished it, but you've had time, when she is performing that wedding and she's trying to keep it together, I'm like, That's not Moira. That's Catherine coming through right there. I'm getting
just got
goosebumps.
chills.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I can't.
But you got to think about it. She's seen Dan grow up. Her and Eugene have worked together for eons.
Forever. Yeah.
And yes, did I totally overthink it? Of course, because that's who I am. But that's every time I watch it, I love her so much.
But I think that there's just something about when you get involved with a show and you realize how much the actual cast and crew is in love with it like you are, it just takes it to a different level. It's just, like you're watching these people like, pursue their passions. Like this is like they love this as much as you do, and they want all of the emotions that you are feeling. They're doing their best to get you into that moment. It just, I think that sort of Supernatural did a really good job of connecting with their fans and making you feel like we're in this with you. We love this story as much as you do.
Absolutely.
So, well, that I don't have anything else nerdy unless Kitsie, I don't know if you have any paranormal in the news.
Nothing. I did read the other day. It was just released like a couple days ago, but it happened, I think it was in the early 2000s, talking about two pilots that lost time flying from Michigan to Ohio. And like a week later, one of those pilots died of a heart attack. And ever since, the other pilot has been drawing pictures of aliens that he sees in his dreams. Wow. So yeah, there's some paranormal in the news. I found that on phantomsandmonsters.com.
Wow. You find some interesting websites.
I was actually on the guy who runs that website, his podcast a couple weeks ago. He's super interesting. Lon is his name, and his podcast is called Arcane Radio. But Phantoms and Monsters has the best in paranormal news. It's a lot of cryptid and otherworldly sightings. It's not so much the hauntings, but I do love a good monster story or an alien story.
Wow.
Oh yeah. And I did I shouldn't say I enjoyed it, but I was cheering you on in the episode of Oddity Files when you were getting fired up about the Bigfoot hunters. So I was like,
so mad at
so
Oklahoma
dumb
right now. So mad. But
Why?
I mean,
What did I miss?
So they're trying to pass a law for Bigfoot hunting, like deer hunting or turkey hunting.
So like
Why?
if you see Bigfoot, shoot him.
Yeah. Don't
that a law.
Yeah. And here's my thing. Bigfoot is a race. He's bipedal. He looks pretty much human. So if you're not going to shoot Billy Joe Jack white boy down the street, you can't go shooting Bigfoot.
Yeah. Why? Like,
right. Well, and the other thing is, if we're going to go down this road where you're gonna put it into law that Bigfoot is real,
then
how about we start with a little kindness first, and we have we fund a Bigfoot research project from the government to figure out who Bigfoot is, how we can help them. Why don't we see them more often instead of like, well, yeah, we think Bigfoot's real now, so go ahead and shoot him.
So let's go shoot him. In Oklahoma.
It's not the first step.
I think this new politician who was recently elected was looking for some publicity. Do I think it's maybe somebody in the government admitting that their Bigfoot is real? Absolutely not. I really think it was totally a publicity stunt. Do I think Bigfoot is real? Yes. Do I think he's smart for avoiding people? Yes. There, I'm done.
You might be part Bigfoot.
I think so.
I mean, other than you're not hairy that I know.
Oh, girl, you don't even know. Especially at this point in winter, just saying.
And pandemic. We're all turning into Bigfoot.
I get fired up about me some big feet.
That's all right.
Well, no, I would too. I get fired up with any type of hunting. So that's...
Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure. Well, you can hear the rest of, I mean, that's just a little taste of Kitsie's fire. You can hear the rest. Tell us where you are, all the places, Kitsie.
So you can find all my personal social media and links, and honestly, my other podcast and all the stuff and all the things at flow.page/Kitsie Duncan. You can buy my book there. You can watch all my paranormal shows there. So check it out. Drop me a like and say hello. I like it when you say hello. I totally stole that from Erin Mankey. Go ahead.
And Tiffany, where can we find you?
You can find me at tiffanyrice.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Spirit Tiff, Twitter, Spirit Tiff, and Spirit Medium Tiffany on Facebook.
And
That's where, if you go to tiffanyrice.com, you can learn everything about me that you want to know. Although Instagram is always a good place to be because that's where I post pretty much everything. I feel like Facebook's very tame. Instagram's a little bit crazy. Not really, but, but definitely if you're interested in looking or booking a reading or have any questions at all, tiffanyrice.com is the place to be. It's the easiest way so we can kind of figure out how we can schedule you in the most timely manner and be able to bring your spirits to you.
And you will
And look
see-
for these three doing a lot more together.
Oh my gosh, I was going to say the exact same three. Three, the exact same thing. Like, yeah,
Absolutely.
words, what Kitsie
Hard.
said.
Words hard.
Beyond podcasts.
You will see a lot more of the three of us together. And as always, we appreciate you listening to the Kind of Nerdy Girls. I was going to like give out all our stuff, but now I've got it. Kitsie, I took a tip from you. And now after our jingle plays, I give out all the things like where our merch is and our Patreon and all of those things. So
If you forget, you're covered.
Yes. So thank you. But if you did not go back and listen to the episode that posted with Jacqueline Pignol, she is amazing. She is Miles Morales' mother in Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales on PS5. She's an incredible voice actress. She has a huge, huge love of dogs. And prior to COVID, she actually went across the country and started just talking with rescues and experts, and she now has a show called The Canine Connection that has just launched. So she's a kind of nerdy girl. Her favorite is Wonder Woman, just like you, Tiffany.
Love it, love it, love it.
And she's she's this cool Marvel voice actress, and she's out trying to save dogs. So definitely give that episode a listen and stay tuned for more Kind of Nerdy Girls.
Rate, review, and subscribe.
Join the Nerdy Girls Podcast.
The Kind of Nerdy Girls are proud to be a part of the Just What I Needed network, and we certainly hope we were just what you needed. To support the show, you can get yourself some merch and show off that you are kind of nerdy. Go to kindofnerdygirls.com and click on the Kind of Nerdy shop. And while you're there, you can also support the show by getting access to behind the scenes footage, videos of our podcast, and never before heard episodes from our classic Kind of Nerdy vault. Just become a patron at kindofnerdygirls.com.